Hey, HeadCanon. Nick and Jake here with another
HeadCanon. One thing I actually wanted to kick this off. I need a new nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned. Did I mention one like yesterday or sometime this week? And I said something different.
You said something different, but the fact that neither of us remember it kind of makes me wonder if it was any good.
I was like, that did happen, right? It wasn't just like part of a dream.
Yeah. No, I remember that. I remember that happening. So I was editing the James Bond. Was that the last one? No. The Thor. I was editing the Thor podcast. And when we got to our nicknames, I noticed how sad I was when I was saying Jake Snyder, the Maniac Collider. So I need a new one. It's gotta rhyme. Like, it's got to.
Okay, I'm with that.
Jake Snyder. If only I was a writer, the movie writer.
Jake Snyder, the movie writer. Huh?
But
Huh?
I'm more of a. I guess I do write movies.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, sure. Jake Snyder, the movie writer. That's still dumb.
Well, I think it sounded good.
Jake Snyder. Jake, make your day brighter, Snyder. Did
Jake
somebody
Snyder.
say yes?
Jake Snyder, make your day brighter, Snyder. Oh, wow.
All right. I'm glad we got that out of the way.
You know, like, I'm not like Jake Snyder, the guy who'll make your day brighter. Boom. Easy money.
Rolls right out. It's only
does.
3 syllables.
It does.
All right.
Whoa.
What's up, everybody? This is HeadCanon with me, Jake, make your day brighter, Snyder, and Nick the Slick Johnson.
That's right. That's right. New and improved.
New and improved and ready to get the day rolling with Nick. What are we talking about today?
Man, today we're talking a little bit about the Hulk, Mr. Make the Day Brighter, Jacob Snyder.
Yes, we're talking about everyone's favorite Green Menace, the Hulk.
That's right.
And funny enough, this isn't really spurred on by She-Hulk. It's just me and Nick happened to start wondering about Ang Lee's Hulk, because that's always on our mind.
Low-key.
Because that was one of my very first superhero movies when I was a kid.
Wow.
And I loved it. And as I've grown older, I've realized just how weird it is. But I still think it's a good movie. It might do some really odd shit.
Yeah.
Some really odd comic booky shit that people have broken down.
Comic book panels and the weird...
The cutouts and the transitions.
As a kid, especially when you're growing up and you're still kind of trying to figure out your spatial awareness, that movie was mad confusing, bro.
Yeah, that was a fucking feast for the senses.
I didn't know what was going on.
Make your pupils dilate as soon as you turn it on.
When the movie turned off, I would be dizzy. I couldn't walk up the stairs, down the hall, man.
But it was good shit.
It was.
It was really good shit. And a lot of people bring up the CG in that movie as being bad.
But they're wrong.
Like,
objectively, they're wrong. Look at it.
Not even joking. I still think it has good CG.
It's good. I would say it's as good as the Hulk now.
Yeah. Like, it's not as detailed as the Hulk.
Better than She-Hulk, though. Tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, I can't because I don't really remember what She-Hulk looks like. But it's been a couple weeks.
Wow, you got a bad memory. Mm-hmm. But I have a good one because I've been tuning in every week.
You ready to say that Hulk 01? 03?
03. That was 2003.
You ready to say Hulk '03 looks better than She-Hulk 2022?
I'll tell you what.
Uh-huh.
I think Hulk '03 looks better than She-Hulk 2022.
Damn.
At the very least, no, it looks better. Like I'm not gonna. She-Hulk isn't like bad CGI to me, at least. It's not '03 Ang Lee's Hulk though.
Okay. Like, if this wasn't a podcast, I'd want to flash up clips on screen showing the CG. Because, like, it looks good.
The '03?
Yeah, it
does.
looks good. People rag on it all the time. I don't get it.
They're haters, bro.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Okay.
I'm dead ass. I'm telling you, man.
Well,
Tell me one bad thing about the movie, genuinely.
well, the transitions and cutouts and comic book shit.
That's my point exactly. Couldn't name shit. I'm teasing. No, those panels, that was definitely a weak point.
Yeah, like if there was a director's cut, ironically probably not Ang Lee himself, but if there was like another director's cut of that movie without the comic book panels, that would be immaculate.
Wow. Could you imagine a Joel Schumacher Hulk movie?
Moving on. Joe, no, I really can't. I really, honest to God, can't.
I can't either, but I know I would watch it.
Okay.
You tell me you wouldn't watch it?
I mean, that wasn't the question. But I would watch it, sure.
That's right.
So I guess talking about directors, let's move into our ideas for the Hulk.
Man, for my Hulk movie, I would get Chloe Zhao to direct.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Chloe Zhao.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Or she would at least be on the top 5 list.
so are you going for like a more introspective story, kind of like Ang Lee's Hulk then? Okay.
Yeah, introspective for sure. Definitely just one of those kind of like out there movies.
Yeah. Interesting. Like, what about the Hulk makes you want to do that?
Well, one thing about the Ang Lee one was like, it's really interesting because okay, so you look at the Hulk and initially you just think about the fact that he's a monster and he smashes things and he destroys everything. But what Ang Lee did, which I thought was interesting, was he kind of took a look at the psychology of him and like how did the Hulk kind of come to be. I think it could have been done differently, and especially like that approach I think would be a lot more interesting for a Hulk that's been the Hulk for a few years. So not like just when he's starting out, but if you have where like, you know, let's say he's been the Hulk for like 10 years and you're doing an introspective type movie, you know, I feel like it would be more interesting to delve into his history and how he looked at those past events and how the past events shaped who he is now. And yeah, there's still got to be like cool action scenes though. Like obviously it's the Hulk.
So 10 years into his run as the Hulk, can he control it, or is it still something he just tries to like escape from?
I would have it where it's something where he's been trying to control it, but the outcome was either just like no outcome and everything's the same, or it just got worse and maybe his episodes are more intense or something like that, or you know, it might be the rampages are a lot more intense, or when he's rampaging because he tried to control the Hulk, merge the two personas together, maybe he's looking at everything through the Hulk's eyes, but while he's still just in his subconscious, and it's like a dream where like you wake up and you tell him like, I was destroying the city, but like it wasn't me, but I saw it through their eyes or whatever. It could be something like that.
So can you tell me anything about, this is a little sidetrack, about the Gray Hulk? Because that was the first one that appeared, then the Green Hulk like took over, right?
Yeah, the Hulk was originally gray, and it was like when it was kind of like a werewolf thing. So at nighttime, that's when he turns into the Hulk. But the Hulk, he wasn't a mindless monster. Like he could talk,
The gray one could?
Yeah, full on sentences and everything.
Okay. So truly Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And apparently, the more they print out these comics, I think the comic artist or the printer was having trouble printing out gray. So Stan Lee was like, okay, well, let's just change it to green because there's no green like characters out there. And then they changed it to green, and then he yada 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 became the Hulk that we're more familiar with, where like he can't really talk, he's just a monster. And then relatively recently in the comics, they brought back that gray Hulk, and it was revealed, it was kind of retcon that yes, he was the first like Hulk persona, but he was more like he was like a gangster or something like that. Because I remember seeing him in the 1930s like gangster suit, but he was more intelligent, not as physically strong as the Green Hulk. And then it just kind of kept evolving, and it got into like, well, Bruce Banner has like multiple personalities and different Hulks for different situations.
Because there's also a Red Hulk.
That's Betty Ross. That's General Ross.
Oh, that's not even Bruce. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, there's the Gray Hulk, the Green Hulk, World War Hulk, and World Breaker Hulk, and there's like how
World Breaker Hulk.
Yeah, like how Bruce Banner has the Hulk. There's a Hulk for the Hulk too, and he's just this gray and red kind of like the hair turned white. He looks freaky.
Jesus. Okay.
He's like freaky.
Because I thought it would be an interesting idea to kind of going off of what you said about the whole 10-year thing, because I think we're done with origin stories, at least for an interest factor. Everyone knows what happened to the Hulk, and just seeing that discovery over again would just be boring, at least to me. So yeah, I would want to do it, years into the future, 10, 15. He's been the Hulk for so long, and he's learned to control it more or less, or at least he thinks he has. Like, he's just finally like starting to calm down from it. He thinks he has it under control. But I would kind of want to go for almost like a psychological monster movie. In the fact, like, the movie starts out and maybe he hasn't turned in a couple months, maybe years. But it's been a decent chunk of time since he's last turned into the Hulk, and he's kind of laying low in this like I don't know, foreign country or just really small town America, something like that. I think it'd be more interesting if he was in a foreign country.
Yeah.
And he's like just starting to get into this new life he's built there. Like maybe like he had his first successful crop yield or something. Like he's laying low. And then like one day a commotion is happening and he goes to find out, and like a huge chunk of the town has been destroyed or something, or like there's been this huge supernatural accident. And he starts like questioning, like, did I do this? Did I Hulk out in the middle of the night? And like throughout the movie, you start seeing signs, right? Like, yeah, like my house was torn up, or like my clothes are stretched out when I wake up. Just more and more signs that are pointing to like the Hulk is doing this, but he's kind of freaking out because every morning he wakes up in the same bed. Like he's not waking up in weird places or anything, or with weird time jumps. He's just waking up and shit's gone wrong. I think it'd be cool if like maybe midsection of the movie he's like, okay, I've never tried this before, but I need to try and communicate with the Hulk and see what's going on. So we have this whole like inner mind palace thing where he's like meditating using, I don't know, maybe he's in like a monk village where they have those smoke meditation rooms, and he's trying to like just go inside himself. And he does, and he's like, first time ever, maybe even the first time in the movie we see the Hulk, and it's like just this huge, like, it's the Hulk, not like small 7-8 foot MCU Hulk, it's like the huge giant Hulk, right? And he just like steps out of the shadows of Bruce's mind palace, and he's just like just this intimidating force. And they somehow start communicating, and I don't know, I don't think it would be like cordial at all. But Bruce is able to figure out like the Hulk has not come out at all. Like maybe that's even why he's super angry or violent with Bruce in his mind palace or something. Like he's just been contained for however long, and maybe like towards the end of that, the mind palace starts shaking, and then it just like cuts off, and then Bruce wakes up the next day in his bed again, but that wasn't where he started meditating. So he's like, is there someone else in there? And we come to find out like the Gray Hulk has started to manifest now that the Green Hulk has been like subdued by Bruce, and he's starting to come out. And so he's like, okay, it's you. You've been destroying this place. And this is where my idea starts to like kind of split off. I don't know if it would be cool to have him be the antagonist, the Gray Hulk, or if it would be cool if like the Red Hulk has been there just looking for Bruce or something, and it is General Ross, and it's like Bruce is having this basically inner struggle with two monsters, while a third monster is just like searching for him and destroying the countryside until he finds him. And I don't know narratively how much that would work. And also, I don't know if I would really want to go down the Red Hulk route, just because it's another one of those kind of tropes where the enemy is the flip version of the hero. But that was just like, I think it was just the easiest one that came to mind, the first one that came to mind.
I like it.
I'm trying to think of who would be like a good villain for the Hulk, because I'm not too familiar with Hulk's villains besides Ross.
Yeah, and it's because he's not even like a villain, which is weird. Like as a kid growing up, you think, well, he's the bad guy,
right?
But then it's like, well, no, he's just, the Hulk is a credible threat, and it's just him trying to stop that. So it's like, but yeah, I don't know of too many Hulk villains. The only one I can think of is, besides Abomination, besides the Absorbing Man, because they low-key did that in the first Hulk.
Yes.
There's a character called the Leader, and he was introduced in the Incredible Hulk. He was it was that scientist that the Hulk was, or that Bruce Banner was communicating with.
Oh, okay.
He's not typically depicted like that though. Like he's more of like if I was gonna cast him in a movie, I would get like Mads Mikkelsen, because he's just kind of behind the scenes. I'm gonna orchestrate everything, and he thinks he's like as smart or as powerful physically as the Incredible Hulk is. The Leader thinks he's that intelligent, like he himself is that intelligent. So you could have it, or how I would do it is like you have the Hulk, and he's been Hulk like maybe like 5-8 years, and he's on the run, and like legit laying low. But as the film progresses, you find out, oh, the Leader has been sending in like other gamma irradiated beings to hunt down the Hulk, because he wants to get like a sample of his DNA to try to perfect his army or whatever, and like da. But also, since Bruce Banner is on the run, you could have where like the main kind of, or the most overt antagonists would be the Avengers, like still under the
I was just gonna say, I was just gonna say, I wanted to piggyback off of one of your ideas that we haven't discussed yet about the Suicide Squad, where it would be cool if like the movie's just, he's on the run the whole time. Yeah. Like maybe this is only like a year or two into his run as the Hulk, and the Avengers are already a thing, and they've got their eyes on him, and they found him. And that'd be an interesting way to like introduce a new cinematic universe almost. Like you have basically every Avenger going toe-to-toe with the Hulk at one point or another in the movie. And I feel like he would wipe the floor with them.
He would. He really would.
And that might be like the start of, like, you could plant the seeds of World War Hulk.
Yeah.
With this movie, like just seeing how the Avengers could be antagonists, and how they perceive the Hulk, because the Hulk would wipe all of them out.
Yeah.
And so they'd be like, oh, let's keep our eye on this one.
Yeah, because another thing I would do is, like, they're hunting him down under the direct orders of Nick Fury, obviously, but also from their perspective, it was just something where, like, they went to Bruce Banner's room and he was just gone, like he had just disappeared, and they started hearing all these stories about, like, oh yeah, like crazy attack and, you know, gamma radiation residue. So they're like, oh, it's Bruce, like he's gone off the deep end. So they don't know what's going on, but Bruce Banner's like, yeah, this dude, the leader, has been like hunting me. So he just kind of split off to do his own thing, and you know, it's just, so it's like the Avengers don't have the full context, and they're not even like necessarily trying to kill him, but they're it's like, he's our friend and we need to help him, but we know what he's capable of. Right. So there is that, those stakes, and then the leader is just like, I just need your DNA, and like, you know, I'm better than you, like da 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 da, like James Moriarty type stuff. Just, I'm gonna be behind the scenes, and I'm not gonna get my hands dirty, and I'm gonna just, that's why he's sending out all these other like little gamma radiated infected creatures. And you could even have it where he sends in the Absorbing Man, just, you know, just for some more like really cool action scenes, and you know,
because that is one thing we strangely lack in the MCU: cool Hulk action scenes.
Damn.
We kind of got a little bit of it in the first Avengers with him flying across buildings and shit, but we really haven't gotten that again. We had the Hulk versus Iron Man in Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, cool. But that was over so quickly, and I feel like after that, the Hulk was just sidelined. Like, indefinitely. Which is so weird. Like, it's the Hulk.
Yeah, make some solo movies.
Make some solo movies, or make him, like, more so than Ragnarok, make him, like, a driving force of someone else's movie. You know? I really don't understand why they don't do more Hulk solo movies. Maybe they're not confident that they can, for whatever reason, even though this is the most fleshed out Bruce Banner we've ever had.
Yeah, it's really weird. Because you would think, because the solo Hulk rights, they still are owned by Universal Studios, but you would think that they would still, like, yo, yeah, let's bank on the success of the MCU and let's make some solo movies.
Like,
and
Sony.
Yeah, and you could even fucking have like an Incredible Hulk ride or something like that at Universal Studios as a result of that. You know? But,
I don't know why they're not. Let's talk about where we think the MCU Hulk is going. Especially now, you know, they've introduced She-Hulk. So they could potentially, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not too brushed up on this, could they potentially be leading to a World War Hulk?
It seems like that a lot, especially at the end of, it was like She-Hulk episode 2. Well, this is kind of spoilers.
Okay, spoilers for She-Hulk episode 2.
Yeah, so she was talking to him on the phone, and he's like, "Hey, I gotta head out." And he hangs up the phone, and the camera it pans out it pans out through the window, and you see that he was on I don't remember if it was the same ship that attacked them in the first episode, but it was. It was. He was on that ship, like, going into space. So it's like, yeah, is he going back to Sakaar? You know, and if he goes back to Sakaar, then.
But, like, why would he?
Yeah, and like there was one theory I heard that he knows that he has a son, so he's going back to check that out. It's like that could be interesting, yeah, because again, like, y'all haven't really done anything solo with Bruce Banner in this cinematic universe, so let's get like a show, maybe, like, kind of following that.
Low key,
it's like 10 episodes or something. Shit.
What has Bruce Banner contributed to the MCU? Like, he
helped design the Hulkbuster suit.
He brought everyone back with the Infinity Stone snap.
No one talks about that. There's a lot of shit in the MCU now that no one really talks about.
I think it's just because there's so much.
Yeah, but I'm like, nah, address it. Address the fact that there's a celestial sticking out of the ocean. Like, no one's talked about that since it happened.
Maybe they just didn't see it.
Like, maybe, but like, you think that there would be like, also, there was another celestial, like, in the sky that sucked up 3 people. Like, nobody reported on that.
Yeah.
No, but, and also, another thing he kind of contributed was, like, part of his brainwaves make up.
Ultron? No, Vision?
Yeah, the Vision's, like, algorithm, but that wasn't brought up until Infinity War. So even then, like, we didn't really know. I thought it was just Jarvis and like the Mind Stone connected. I legit thought that was it. But then in Infinity War, they were like, oh yeah, it's my brainwaves, it's Tony Stark's brainwaves, it's Ultron's brainwaves, but they're all like learning from each other and da 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 da.
Damn.
Slight tangent. They need to do more with Vision, or like they should have then. But yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that for right now, though.
Yeah, and I'm really wondering if the introduction of She-Hulk is almost a way for them to be like, we want to do World War Hulk, but I think that would be the end of Bruce Banner.
It could be, yeah.
But so if this is going to be the end of Bruce Banner, let's have another Hulk, aka She-Hulk.
Yeah, but the way that if they are setting up World War Hulk, I'm mad. I don't understand how that would really go down, because all the circumstances leading up to it are different. And you already low-key did World War Hulk in Thor Ragnarok, because his whole getup, that's what they were alluding to, was World War Hulk. But he's going back there not as a gladiator this time, but just as a guy. So what is he gonna do there? And if he does have like a son, who would he? Like I feel like they're gonna, if they were to do World War Hulk, like the way that they're setting it up now, like it's gonna be all comedic, and he goes back to Sakaar, and he's like trying to blend in, but everybody recognizes him because he was a celebrity there when he was there. And then he meets up with a lady that he basically doesn't really recognize, because again, he was asleep the whole 2 years. But she knows him, and she's like, oh my god, like you're back, and like da 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 da, like takes him back to the crib, and this their son. And then it's like, oh wow, I have to deal with my son now, and also whatever was the original reason I like came to Sakaar or something like that.
Right.
And it'll be like, oh, like yeah, you kind of brought it up, but he did it in like a really corny kind of comedic way, like a little bit like like Thor Ragnarok. I feel like, or Love and Thunder. It would be like that. Like you brought up all of these really cool topics and concepts, you just executed them in a way that's like, oh, let's just laugh at it and like da 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 da.
Yeah, you just turn them all into jokes or punchlines.
Exactly.
And that's another thing. I really hope Marvel doesn't get too deep in this everything is funny.
Yeah, because it's not.
Phase. And it sucks because it seems like that's what nearly everyone likes. Because you have Eternals, which had one funny bone in its body. I liked Eternals, but it's like it was the lowest rated MCU movie ever.
That's insane to me.
And it seemed like no one was fucking with it, but it was so unique and interesting. And then you have Love and Thunder, which is just itself. And
I heard he's not coming back for part 5.
Yeah,
Taika Waititi.
I heard that too, and I'm not sad by that. If that's what you had to continue with, like, nah.
Yeah, shame on you.
But I don't know what circumstances he was working under for Love and Thunder. And let's not get sidetracked on Love and Thunder again, because that could be part of another podcast. But anyway, who? So you said Chloe Zhao for your first idea. Your second idea, where he's on the run from the Avengers, you were saying something like that.
And that's another thing, because I wouldn't want to try to make it too Jason Bourne-esque.
No.
Because a character like Jason Bourne, in that he's on the run from these overwhelming odds, but I don't see him in these hand-to-hand fist fights and stuff. Like, maybe he can defend himself, maybe he picked up a couple of things along the way, but I wouldn't want to do it like that. But I do like the idea of him just being on the run. And also, just to kind of another like characterization for my version of Bruce Banner in this movie is like it seems like he's always. You remember in Age of Ultron, it was after the Hulk versus Iron Man scene, and they were about to make Vision, and then Scarlet Witch came up, and Bruce Banner had that line like, I could kill you without changing a shade" or something like that. Like me, Bruce Banner, I'm so angry, I could kill you, Scarlet Witch, right now. Like I don't need the Hulk. So I would kind of like that to be how he's presented. It seems like he's always in a bad mood, and he's always just a little bit snippy. And you know, if you don't really know him like that, you could just be like, well, he's upset because of like all this stuff that's happened to him or whatever. But what it really is it's him struggling to keep the Hulk at bay. So like the Hulk's anger is kind of seeping into his own personality. So that's why he seems like he's upset all the time. But also it's that constant kind of, it's that constant strain. And I can never really focus on anything. And maybe he's not even sleeping like that either. If I fall asleep, he might come out. So he doesn't sleep, but he just tries to meditate and rest his mind or something like that. But he never really falls asleep. So yeah, like bags under his eye, and he's always just like a little bit fidgety and kind of like, you know, a little bit like that.
Just on edge 24/7.
24/7. And then the third act fight scene, it's the leader there with all of his little weird monsters, and the Avengers are there. And then he can't take it anymore because he's trying to explain himself to the Avengers like, I'm not doing all of this, it's da. And he's also upset because the leader has just been on his back for years, so he's just exhausted for all of these different reasons. And he explodes, and that's when he turns into maybe not like World Breaker Hulk, but it's like he's a Hulk, and it seems like he's kind of veering towards that. So crazy epic fight scene, and like he defeats all of the leaders things, and the leader, and like the Avengers like, oh, okay, or maybe no, they don't even totally see like what's going on, but they're like, well, let's just be on his side right now because he is fighting all these monsters that we just found out were like tearing everything up, but they still don't have like the full context of Bruce Banner, so they're still a little bit on edge with him. And then it basically ends like he expels so much energy that he kind of just passes out, and like he reverts back. I don't know how it ended. Oh, you know what? Yeah, the Avengers would take him.
I was gonna say like have him in containment, and then like they unleash him in the next movie or something.
No, like the next movie would be Planet Hulk. So like it ends with like
they expel him into space or something.
Yeah, like he's passed out on the ground, and like it's all of them just kind of like looking at him like,
this guy's a monster.
Yeah, but like we take pity on you, but also like it's again like they just like don't get it. Like damn, you're a danger to yourself, Bruce. So then the next movie, it opens up with Bruce Banner waking up in the spaceship, and it's that hologram message.
That'd be cool.
And then it's Planet Hulk and all of that. And then the end of the movie, the ship blows up, and then the third movie is World War Hulk, and it's, you know, it's all of that. Like it's like an Avengers Infinity War level threat where like oh, like Miss Fantastic's like, holy shit, you guys, like there's a ship coming in, like it kind of looks like our ship or something like that, and then he lands, and he's just not really, and he lands, and he just is taking over everything because he's mad at the Illuminati, and has all of their dirty laundry aired out. And you could even have the Sentry come in, who's just the Marvel Superman, and that could be some cool action scenes, and just like this epic 3-hour-long movie.
It'd be really cool if that trilogy, say there's no MCU, it'd be really cool if that first Hulk movie opened the cinematic universe. The Planet Hulk movie was like the midpoint, because you have, you know, first Hulk, and then like they kind of build up everyone else, and then Planet Hulk, basically showing like what they did to him, you know, and blah blah blah, and then that movie ends, and then like we see everyone like is evolving and getting stronger on Earth, like new heroes are coming in, blah blah blah, and then World War Hulk. And it's like each Hulk movie is kind of like like a milestone in the whatever phase. Maybe this is just one book. Like Hulk is chaptering the basically the countdown to the end of this book.
Yeah.
And it ends with World War Hulk, and it, like you said, it's just this fucking epic in scope, almost Lord of the Ringsian in its approach. That'd be sick. That'd be so cool. Return of the King, except it's Return of the Hulk. Yo, that'd be sick. There's so much potential with Hulk, but like they're just kind of, he's just there.
Yeah, he's just kind of like wandering.
It's like Mark Ruffalo's like, yeah, I'll be in that movie. And they're not even asking him. So like, oh, okay.
I think Ruffalo also wants like a solo Hulk movie because he had brought up, it was like a few years ago. It was before Infinity War came out where he was like, yeah, like they have this planned arc for the Hulk, but it's through everything. And I think it started with Ragnarok. And then the second part of that arc was in Infinity War, and then the third part was in Endgame. And he was saying like, yeah, so suck at Universal Studios. Like he was saying that in the interview. I was like, yeah, just give him a Hulk movie, man.
I wonder if Universal is holding him back then. By the sounds of it, you know.
That's what it seems like.
That's a shame. That's a damn shame, man. But who would you get to direct this trilogy for you?
This is a tough one, like, because it's a more action-packed kind of Hulk trilogy. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Oof. My initial thought, because I haven't been disappointed in the past by this choice, would be the Russo brothers.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm like, I don't know, because it's like, at a certain point, that's going to become a cop-out answer.
Yeah, like a default.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm trying to think of a director for mine. And also a cast.
I got a cast for mine. I only got 2 people casted for mine.
Who?
Well, the leader would be Mads Mikkelsen.
Okay.
And then the Hulk would be Hugh Dancy.
Who?
From, you haven't seen. This is a bad example, but it's only because you have, I don't think no, Hannibal, fuck it. The main guy from Hannibal?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because I didn't remember if you'd seen it or not. I'm like, the only thing I know that he's seen with Hugh Dancy for sure is Ella Enchanted.
Jesus.
Which, that's a bad
Ella
pitch.
Enchanted.
But
Okay.
Because in Hannibal, he plays this like psychoanalyst detective or something like that. And he's extremely good at his job because whenever there's a crime scene, he looks at it from the killer's perspective.
He can empathize.
He can empathize, but he's the only one that can really do it like that. And he's also on the spectrum, which I think they said like that's kind of why he's able to kind of do it like that. But yeah, and he has this kind of meek, timid, but like dark persona about him on the show. So I feel like that would just translate well, to this version of Bruce Banner.
Right.
Because yeah, when he goes off at the end of either like the first one or the third one, like it would be like a nuclear missile hit the city. Like when he goes Worldbreaker Hulk, it's like when Goku goes Super Saiyan and there's like all of the like sound waves and like the Avengers like, holy, what the fuck is going on? And like the windows are breaking,
that's
like
terrifying.
Buildings are shattering. Yeah, and it would be like, holy shit. And then when he transforms, because in the comics, like, dude, when he takes a step, it breaks like a city block or something.
Jesus.
It is insane. And he's glowing because he's emitting so much gamma radiation. So God. Yeah, it would have to be something like that. And to your point, this would be awesome because at this point, all of the new heroes would be there.
Right.
So
people who aren't even involved with Hulk.
Exactly. And they're like, and it's like everybody, man. Like the OG Avengers, Black Panther, Blue Marvel, The Century, Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Just, everybody, bro. And yeah, maybe like a Civil War event happened in this one. Mm-hmm. So you could have the teams from the Avengers Initiative. Because I was when like Iron Man was like, yeah, like I want 50 superhero teams in each state. So he's like you gotta bring them all here now. It's like, okay, but sorry, we're dealing with like all of these. Like, no, this is like priority alpha, bro. Like, like this is it. this is potentially worse than Thanos and Galactus, man. And it's
Potentially.
right here in New York City.
Yeah.
So it could be something like that. And maybe they're even like Spider-Man, like, see if you can call, like, the people from the Spider-Verse or something, because this is, like, what, like, all hands on deck situation. Like, it's right here, dude.
Okay. I like that. I don't know his name, but the guy who directed 10 Cloverfield Lane and Prey, it just seems like he knows what he's doing, and that's who I would get for my movie, or my pitch of him being in that like monk village. That's who I would get to direct, at least, to star as my Hulk, who is like 10 or 15 years as the Hulk. Let me think. Yeah, I don't want anyone with like a muscular stature, but I don't want someone like Mark Ruffalo either. Yeah. If this was like, if there wasn't controversy around him, and if he didn't do all those shitty movies, I would say Johnny Depp. But no.
Johnny Depp as a Hulk. That's kind of interesting. When you were saying that, I was like, Steven Seagal.
Oh, Jesus. No.
Don't mention it, brother. Johnny Depp, that could be interesting.
I'm trying to think, like... Oh! Okay, this is gonna be weird, but I fuck with it hard. You ready?
I think so.
For Bruce Banner, Tobey Maguire.
Wow.
I think he could, just going off of Brothers and his portrayal of Peter Parker, I think he could handle both sides of like the anger and the serenity,
He really could. He's an intense actor. And yeah, like Brothers, you've seen Brothers.
I've seen clips. I haven't seen the full thing.
Did you see where he was just like throwing the crowbar in the kitchen?
Yes, that was the first clip I ever saw.
That scene, I had never seen him like that because I'd only seen the Spider-Man movies.
Right.
But I was like, wow. Even my mom was saying like, wow. Like what process did he have to go through as an actor to be able to pull off a performance like that?
Right.
It's like, wow, yeah. He's all skinny and like, stuff like that. No, I'm with this. It's a little out there for me, but like, I like where your head is at, so it's like I can appreciate it for sure.
That's who I would go with. It would be definitely weird. It would be really weird, but I think he could handle it.
I'd be down.
Yeah, and with that director, yeah. As for everyone else, yeah, he would just be like the main focal point, and I'm still undecided on who I would replace Red Hulk with. I just don't know enough villains from Hulk, so undecided in that point. But yeah, that's who I'd cast.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
I hope they go somewhere with the MCU Hulk. I think they are, just really slowly.
I do too, man. Just like give him a movie, bro.
I know.
They low key failed twice at it.
Yeah, they really did. Okay, Ang Lee Hulk or Edward Norton Hulk?
Ang Lee Hulk.
Yeah,
I prefer that one.
Same. The Incredible Hulk, Edward Norton. I feel like it's an easier watch, but it's also like, ironically enough, more boring.
Yeah.
Which is so strange because I feel like a really valid criticism against Ang Lee's Hulk is how boring and quiet it is, but it's just because it's more of a drama than an action movie. So like, if you're actually paying attention to what they're saying and the drama itself, it's a good movie.
Yeah, because exactly, I found myself thinking about that when Nick Nolte was talking to Jennifer Connelly in that one scene, and he was saying like, when the world sees what my son actually is, like, then I can accept him just because he exists.
Right.
And it's like, wow. that's the movie I want to see. You know, and with a movie like that, you could get, you know, Chloe Zhao to be more like introspective.
Exactly.
Even Ang Lee, I feel like could, but that's a dangerous thing to say. Like after the first movie came out, but no, I think you can handle it. You know. Yeah, I was. Oh wow. Oh yeah. No, I'm just thinking.
So, that is our Hulk.
That is our Incredible Hulk, Incredible HeadCanon podcast.
So, Nick, what is the next series we will be discussing on HeadCanon?
Man, I didn't want to say because we got to keep it secret.
Yeah.
But I will give you a little hint, though.
Give me a hint.
Man, The Matrix.
I cannot wait to see what we think about The Matrix.
I'm excited, too. I'm looking forward to it.
Only on HeadCanon.
Only on HeadCanon.
Next time.
That's right. We've been your hosts, Nick the Slick Johnson and...
Jake, make your day brighter, Snyder.
Jake, make your day brighter, Snyder. That's right. New and improved, baby.
New and improved, baby.
That's right. If you haven't already, please subscribe on YouTube and, you know, hit the bell for the notifications. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok,
Facebook, LinkedIn, castos.com/dawningvision,
Spotify.
and that's all of them. All right. Hope you guys have a good week.
Yes, please. Thank you, guys.